What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
and today we are diving into a brand new series. I didn't really know what to think about it. Actually, I didn't know anything about it. Liam walked in the office, said, hey, you want to check this out? I was like, yeah, let's check it out. And I was hooked from episode 1. We've watched the first 3 episodes that dropped, and we're going to be talking about them all today. If you haven't guessed by the thumbnail, we are talking about a brand new series, Paradise, and Sterling Brown is stealing the show. Let's talk about it, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely stealing the show. Fuck, it's intense. I don't know where we should jump in right at the beginning because there's so much I want to talk about, specifically the stuff that we found out later.
Right. Yeah, so we sat down to watch episode 1, not knowing there were 2 more episodes. Yes. And so we were analyzing episode 1 to come and talk to you guys with it. And then as it is ending and we're getting ready to come in here and record, the next episode starts. And Liam's like, Chris, wait! So we figured out there were 2 more episodes and we had to watch them, which, awesome. Got a lot more story. But yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into walking into this. I had no idea what the show was going to be about. I just knew that the cast seemed awesome, so I was going to check it out with them. And always, we give each other recommendations. This was one of Liam's, and so didn't know what I was walking into. I knew he was a secret agent. I knew the president was involved. I knew that there was some secrecy, not military, but necessarily government secrecy going on. But boy, was I pleasantly surprised to find out that there's so much more going on, and there's a sci-fi element to it, or at least a fantasy element in the post-apocalyptic world. And I think for me, you guys have been following us for a while, that's my genre, and I love that. So super excited to find out that this is a mixture of all the things we really like put together, and there's quite a bit of mystery involved still, and we need to kind of solve that with you guys. I'm excited to do that. So
I wasn't expecting the president to be dead within the first few moments of the first episode.
Yeah.
Because the trailer made it seem like there's this whole big backstory, but it jumps back and forth.
It does, quite a bit.
That part I could use a little less of. That style kind of frustrates me sometimes, but all in all, I'm very much enjoying it, and the character development is awesome.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys have thought so far about the first 3 episodes down in the comments, and also your theories. Remember, this is more of a discussion than us just talking. We love to hear what you guys have to say too, but I would agree. Absolutely.
I'm going to contradict myself real quick, because I said I kind of hate the flashbacks, but without the flashbacks, we wouldn't get this same kind of character development that we're seeing right now.
What I gathered from what you had said previously, and maybe I've known you so long, I'm kind of putting it through that filter, but what I gained was you just want less of them. They are absolutely essential, but we don't need as many to get the same point across as where I was going with what you had said. But
yes.
Yeah. But anyway, it's good because I know this guy, so I know what he meant. You guys now know too. No, so for me, the whole thing was a mystery, and I really enjoyed that. I like to try to solve things, right? Like the puzzles in my brain want to go. And so when we walked in and this president's recruiting him to be part of his personal detail, kind of joking about it, like not too serious about it, trying to figure out like where this guy's coming from. We initially meet him right off the bat. We know he's been shot. Like the opening scene is him shirtless, bullet wound, exit wound, very clearly can see, or bullet wound, exit wound in the front. We can very clearly see what's going on. Huge scar on the back of the neck, trying to figure out the mystery. They show it to us twice right away. And so I'm like, okay, this guy's scarred up significantly for a reason. That's something we probably should focus on. Let's figure out what that's going to be. We find that out in episode 2, how that really happens, I believe, or maybe later in episode 1, that he takes the bullet for him.
But we also see him go for the run, and I remember sitting next to you, I'm like, dude, this has Agatha vibes.
Totally, and you rocked it. And that was so cool. I want to give you a tip of the hat there. As we were watching episode 1 together and then 2 and 3 separately, and as we're watching episode 1 together, and he's just running through that initial like scene of the city, of the town, not city. I was like, oh, they're in DC. I even said it to him, like, oh, they're in DC. And he was like, I'm getting Agatha vibes. Like not necessarily Agatha vibes, but the
town.
Right. What was Wanda and Vision, the spinoff where Wanda created the town is where I'm going with that. And Agatha all along kind of spun off of that, right? Yeah. So totally you rocked it. You had it in like your mind. You're like, this doesn't seem right. This is like a bubble town. Like this is existing inside of or outside of regular society, wherever that may be, if it is still existing. But you had it. You knew it.
And we had no idea about the cave thing either.
Yeah, we had no idea they were living in a simulated city inside of a cave.
Spoiler.
Right.
Huge spoiler.
I mean, if you're watching this, you've already watched the first 3 episodes. That's why you're here to discuss it with us. So hopefully you already know that we have heavy spoilers coming all the time.
That's wild. We also have the issue between, I can't say if he's the president anymore in this bubble town. I think he might be after his office.
So it does do flashbacks quite a bit. So he's president in the real world, and then he goes into the bubble town, we're going to call it, and he
Paradise.
paradise, and he continues. That's a better word for it. Continues his presidency, but they're not there for a very long time. It's only like 3 years that they've been there, something like that, right? It's a short period of time. Do you remember the exact timeline that they've been there?
I don't.
Let us know in the comments, how long have they been inside paradise since the world ended? Because it's only a short period of time, if I remember correctly. And then Sinatra mentions that he agreed to extend his presidency to kind of keep things normal and keep things functioning. So he is the functional president of paradise. But much like
U.S. anymore.
not the U.S., much like what most of society believes our president is, which is a puppet, that's what he would be, is Sinatra's puppet, right? Because Sinatra's really the one in charge. And everyone knows that.
Well, a lot of people are figuring that out anyway through episodes.
Her character development through these 3 episodes I thought was fascinating. Because at first I'm like, okay, we got the big bad, the billionaire who's,
The Elon.
the corrupt person who's got all this money and they're trying to see out their agenda. In their mind, it's the rightful thing they're supposed to do, but in the end, it's evil, right? Like, that's the trope, right? And I totally thought we were going to get that with her. And then as her character played out more, I was switched. I'm like, okay, she's not our big bad. She's going to end up being an asset. She's going to end up most likely getting killed at some point, but she's not going to be our bad. There's another bad hiding. And then we get the huge hint at the end of episode 3 that Billy isn't who he says he is. He's much more dangerous than we think. So maybe they weren't playing maybe they weren't having a relationship. Maybe they are disgruntled with the president, upset about something, and trying to create some sort of coup. Or the classic trope would be also that they have something on Billy and they're using Billy as a tool, whoever the real evil person is. What do you guys think in the comments? Who's the real big bad? Do you think it's Sinatra, or do you think it's Billy? Do you think there's something else going on? I honestly would love to hear more about what you think about the character of Sinatra too.
Sinatra is Sam, right?
Samantha.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call her Sinatra, yeah. Because she's the true leader of the group.
So was it her that had the loss of the kid?
Her son passes away, yes.
And so she goes into this weird mode after she becomes like this tech startup billionaire.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the dude in the bar.
The whole husband scene was awesome. Yeah, that was, the guy who becomes her husband, that whole initial flirting scene, I love that dialogue. That was great.
He's like, you're going to ruin my life.
Yeah, you're going to ruin my life, Plan Arch. She just looks so...
That was one of my favorite lines.
No, it was good. It was good witty banter between the both of them. And they were like, I lied. Yeah, media. And there's just that's the whole thing was just really great. But yeah, she sold her startup, and based on stock projections or whatever, she was going to be a very, very wealthy billionaire, multiple times over. And it looks like what she ended up doing was she didn't stop there, right? She turned around, created another one, built another tech startup, or it seems, because she was running another one when we meet her with her son, right? They're having some sort of merger going on. She's on the call when the son falls on the horse about a merger, right? So I would think she's in ownership of something at that time. So she goes on to do more. So she's even more wealthy now. And then ultimately turns around and uses her money to build this giant city to save humanity. Is my understanding.
We don't know what the Calamity was yet, do we?
It was an explosion of some sort.
But we don't know what the Calamity was.
Yeah, my guess is that it was some sort of nuclear explosion, just based on the cutscenes of what the plane's dealing with.
Yeah, the flash,
the bright white lights, the fire after, all of that. Very much simulations of a bomb, something exploding, or eerily similar to that, at least. So I don't think it was a natural disaster, because there's the scene later on where in her mind she's listening to him and she's simulating in her mind the wave coming and all of that. I don't think it was natural. I think it was man-made. Although a lot of what he was talking about was going to be natural because of
scientists, dude.
Yeah, because of the way the Earth was.
Conspiracy man.
Right. Not so conspiracy, we're finding out, right? What do you guys think? Was it natural or was it man-made? Because it could have been both, right?
Or some variation of combinations.
Because it'd be an earthquake would make everything unsettle, and you got to think there's going to be explosions when power generators, all sorts of gas pumps, things like that are going to be shifted, and sparks are going to go off, and boom, there's going to be tons of explosions.
But talking about the tidal wave too.
Yeah, but would it be big enough to interfere with Air Force One, 30,000 feet in the air, though? Like, that's the thing. Or were they not 30,000 feet in the air because they were coming down into the mountain? There's a lot of questions we don't have answers to, so it's a lot of like open big theory right now. But based on what the scientist was saying, his theories were all nature-based, some sort of natural disaster. And so I think that there might be a mixture of that. Or man just killed themselves, which is, been in many, many movies where we blow our...
Trying to think of the end of the world movie where John Cusack meets what's his face in an RV. Can't remember his name right now.
Can you give me some more of the actors?
Yeah, he was in White Boys Can't Jump.
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, he was the crazy guy in the RV.
John Cusack. Yeah, you got to look it up because I don't know that one. I actually do know the movie you're talking about. I just don't know the name of it. As soon as you say it, it's going to be like, let us know in the comments. You guys are going to get it first. Go ahead, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. You got it. Comment it. You can get it.
2012? Was that it?
Was it? I've seen it. 2012 was not a very remarkable movie. That's probably
Woody Harrelson. Yeah,
that's probably okay. So that's probably why I'm not remembering it. It wasn't a very remarkable movie.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was fun to me.
I watched it. I could say that.
Woody Harrelson is like at the top of Yellowstone.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
I do. Like I said, I remember the scene. I just couldn't remember the movie.
That's the comparison I was making, was that he was the Woody Harrelson of this guy.
Yeah.
That's all. Just for that.
The other character that I think obviously we really need to talk about is the therapist or the engineer of, what was it? Personal experiences or whatever she is. She's the engineer of something.
Gabby?
Yeah. The title of episode 3 is what she calls herself. The engineer of something.
I don't remember.
Okay. Sinatra and the architect of social well-being. That's what she is. Okay. Yeah. So we absolutely still need to talk about Gabby, who is the therapist, or inside of Paradise, the architect of social well-being, but also has a lot of secrets. During the seduction of our favorite protagonist right now, she whispers in his ear, the president wanted me to tell you something. If the president was ever found dead, he told me to come to you and tell you this. And then,
yes,
right?
I was so pissed. I knew it was coming. I was pissed.
Yeah, because you hate cliffhangers, but
yes, I do.
And the thing that she says to him is, Billy's more dangerous than you know. Mm-hmm. And that the president had suspicions about him, right? So now the only person he thought he can trust is the one person he's being told he cannot. Interesting spin.
I don't understand Gabby's motives yet.
Yeah, who is she? And
Is she good? Is she bad? Is she playing both sides?
I think she's a good person. I think the weight of having to choose, I think this is ultimately what we're seeing too from a lot of characters, is the weight of having to choose who lives and who dies, right? So I don't think that, Cal, the president, I don't think that he necessarily is a asshole alcoholic, right? I think that a lot of what you saw him doing and dealing with is the weight of knowing the world was going to end. And then ultimately, once they had a solution for that, knowing that he and a handful of people were going to ultimately have to choose who of humanity gets to actually live. Like,
Episodes was about that selection process.
I wouldn't want that decision. That's heavy as hell. And now they have to deal with that weight. Also knowing that some of the people who did survive are lost directly because of that decision and now hate them, right? Which is, we saw a whole conversation about that in episode 2. So I think that what we are seeing between Sterling, Gabby, Cal before he got killed. What?
Billy?
I don't know if Billy has that weight. Because he's more Secret Service. He may have that weight, and we don't know it. There is a motive driving him deeper than we understand, right? Because right now he's just kind of like the right-hand man. But there's more to him that we don't know yet. Could be that he's dealing with the weight of loss from that decision as well. We don't know that yet. That's a good theory. I like where you're on with that. Because there's something driving him for him to turn, and I don't know if he killed him, but there's something darker about him that we don't know yet.
That's what they're hinting at, yes.
Yeah. Well, why would they? If throw us off, maybe, but unless Gabby's motives are completely nefarious and she is the big bad, I have a feeling that Billy is either more evil, straight out, or being controlled by someone evil.
I don't think Gabby's evil because she talks about the beauty and the nuance. And I think that she is a good actress. And so when she is talking about that, she gets all excited about it and shows real empathy and caring and all the planning that went and was involved to help all the members of paradise
Yeah.
go ahead and feel welcomed and feel like they're in a real city.
No, I mean,
Not, which isn't in a fucking cave.
right.
So she put so much thought into that. I don't see her as being bad per se, but I also see her doing some bad things to protect her baby, which is Old community.
Right.
Yes.
What she built. I mean, people in power tend to want to stay there.
And Billy is screwing that chick.
Yeah.
Observer.
Yeah.
The young one.
It seems like there wasn't, like, obviously there's only like 1,000 people to choose from, or what is it? It's more than that, but I'm just saying it's a lot more than that. But
I feel like it's broken up into quadrants. Like each area's got its own mayor or something like that.
that makes sense. If you think about it, if you use Silo as a reference, like each level was like its own community.
Yeah, I even mentioned that this is leading up to be possibly like the planned stage of when Silo first, right? This is their version of it.
Wouldn't it be kind of interesting if season 3, because obviously in season 3 of Silo, there's going to be a lot of flashbacks between how it was set up, because we got the tea of that at the end of season 2, how it was set up. And then I'm going to try not to spoil Silo, because if you guys haven't watched that, you're not here for that. So I'm not going to try to spoil it for you. But I think that we're going to get, I would like to see how similar it is from season 3 of Silo to what we're seeing here, and if there's any correlations.
It could be very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just super fucking excited about this shit.
Yeah, I think that's really, like, those are the main characters that we're looking at. There's also the leader of the Secret Service who was sleeping with Cal, who I don't think is evil. I think she's just emotionally compromised at the moment. I think she really did like Cal. Like, I think she really did enjoy their time together. I don't think she killed him.
Well, Xavier was like super pissed because she's literally leading the charge against him.
Yeah.
She's fucking sleeping with him, and you're letting her run this investigation?
I mean, in any other situation, that would be unacceptable, right? Because, how could you walk into that situation unbiased?
Well, Xavier's mind is black and white. There is clear cut right and wrong for him. That's something I relate to very well.
There's no grace.
It's just right or wrong. That's it. Fuck you. But yeah, I guess there will be gray areas because you can't have clear polar opposites and nothing in between.
Yeah.
Do you think that because of Silo and what's the other one that we're watching that's like that? Fallout?
Yeah.
Because of Silo, Fallout, that this is going to have too much competition, or is this what more people are wanting? Is that why we're getting more underground, apocalyptic type stuff? Is this the new zombies trend?
I don't know, because we don't know what ended the world. I think this is unique enough to be, like, Silo and Fallout have eerily similar things going on, right? To me personally.
Yeah.
Because I played Fallout for so long, and now I'm getting invested into Silo as a show, and I've never read the book. So for me, not having the book backstory and only seeing it on the screen, I have a lot of connections with those two. However, when it comes to Paradise, I think it's unique enough. I think that so far, it has elements we haven't seen before.
Murder, politics, romance, apocalypse, and underground bunker.
Because everyone knows the world ended, but everyone acts as if it doesn't. It hasn't. I went a whole episode not knowing the world had ended.
But the world hasn't ended.
The outside world is gone.
Yes, but they're still alive.
So humanity has not ended. I understand that 100%. But the world outside, we don't know the condition of at all as a viewer at the moment.
Could be a lie.
I don't know. Could be. I mean, that's always a possibility. I don't believe it is, because how would we explain the explosion?
I've seen stories of older gentlemen in like the 80s in other TV shows and stuff where a plane will crash into the backyard. They thought the world ended, so they went into the bunker. Hell, that was the Brendan Fraser thing, right?
Yeah.
You remember, what was that movie called?
Iceman, wasn't it?
No. You're thinking Encino Man, but no. I'm talking about Brendan Fraser where
He was...
in the little bunker, his mom and dad.
No, I'm thinking of the one where he was like frozen in time. Blast from the Past.
Yep, that one.
I have seen this because he trades his collection, which was worth like a shit ton of money because he had it forever.
Yep.
Like his baseball cards or whatever, right? Yeah, I do remember that.
It was such a good movie.
I'd have to rewatch it. That's the only scene I remember is he traded his baseball cards, not knowing how much they were really worth.
But essentially, they thought the world would ended because in their small little area, they saw what looked like world-ending thing, but it was just an accident that caused them to go underground. But they know something is coming, so it's probably that.
Sorry.
That's okay. They know something is coming, so it's probably not that. But I'm just throwing like what ifs out there.
So there is a scenario in which they thought the world was going to end, and so they are going into the bunker. An explosion happens. Now everyone believes the world has ended, but really it was just one explosion relatively close to where the aircraft was.
Yeah. What? So are they cut off? Like, is there really any other survivors out there? They doing search parties? Snowpiercer was very much the same way, where they're on this train instead of a...
They are connected to the world. That's what the tablet is. The tablet that he keeps locked in the safe, that's its sole purpose. Because when he pulls it out that night and he's waving it around in Sterling Brown's face, what's his actual character's name? I'm drawing a blank. Xavier. X, yes. So Cal is showing Xavier the tablet, like waving it when he's holding the drink, like by his bed. And he's like, gonna check in on the world's news today. Like, I think that tablet is how he's connected to like the outside world.
So that tablet, though, was the connection of all the top secret stuff going on in the world when he was president of the actual United States before they're in the paradise, right?
So do you think that paradise is one and only? That there's only one paradise and there isn't like Silo, 50 of them where they're all communicating together?
Obviously, it would not be smart to put all your eggs in one basket,
Right.
But it was such a monumental task. They made sure to hammer that down our throat about how monumental and impossible it was. So what is the likelihood of them actually making more if one was so difficult? Yeah, and it was funded privately.
The private funding is more of a loophole or more of a hiccup for me than the other side, because the other side for me is if once you figure out how to do it once, you can easily do it again. So once they solve the problem and they start building it, they can just do it again.
But do they have time?
Time and money are the issue, right? Exactly, I agree.
We don't know is my point.
We're only 3 episodes in and we have a lot of questions, right? So that's really where we're at, and I'm sure you guys are the same way. So let us know in the comments, what do you believe is going to happen? What are some of the burning questions you guys also have so far?
Fuck. I just realized that tablet, because it's massively thick, right?
Yeah.
So it's essentially like probably more than just like a Samsung or an iPad or something like that greatly. So point I'm trying to get to real quick is, fuck, what if it's another AI? That would be disappointing.
That would be disappointing. That would be However, have you ever seen like military grade computers or military grade, like they're thick
Laptops, yeah.
It's because they're shockproof. Right. So what if the tablet isn't necessarily big and thick, but it's just in a shockproof case, right? So it's like the most sacred thing they have. It's the only line of communication. Yeah, this is a theory. Only line of communication they have to the outside world. You would protect that thing like crazy.
Well, that's what the box is.
The box, I think, is what keeps it safe from people stealing it, which didn't work.
But it's also got all the padding inside. It's got the egg carton padding.
Maybe just double safety. I don't know.
Maybe we're giving them too much credit at this point.
Yeah.
So many questions we need to have answered. What are some of your questions that you need to have answered to keep moving forward? I'm going to keep fucking watching this.
Absolutely. No.
Awesome.
I think Paradise is
a winner.
The character development is great. I think the casting was great. There's enough questions, enough elements of mystery, but also enough of the plot line given to us to stay hooked. I'm interested to see where season 1 goes and see how much it does lean on some other shows that are doing really well right now in those genres. How much Dome and how much is that one? Yeah. And how much do they actually stick to something original and create something unique that we can dive into as a viewer? I'm excited to see where we go on episode 4. And if you guys are too, then you can check out our episode 4 review next week when it drops. But until then, you can actually check out an entire season we just reviewed right here. It was absolutely awesome. We talked about it many times inside this episode. It's Silo. If you like that, you could check out the entire season. Season 2 was amazing. We reviewed it. We also have reviewed many other things on other streaming channels. You can check that out right here, as well as something that you may also really like above my head. But as always, never forget to subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you never miss a single episode. We are pumping them out right now. because you guys have been asking for them. We've been growing rapidly, a lot of engagement. You guys are loving it. We're loving doing it. And so we have a lot coming down the pipeline. And as always, let us know if there's something you would like us to review. Always open to suggestions on something new. My name is Chris.
I'm Liam, and thank you for the 5,200 subscribers that we've had over the last 28 days.
We'll see you all on that video.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.